Have you ever wondered what happens when Pisces, very emotional, comes together with a very intellectual Aquarius in a romantic situation? If you are already in a Pisces, Aquarius romance dynamic or want to be in a romantic dynamic with one, this is the video for you, so stay tuned. Hi everyone, this is Mina. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm an astrologer who loves to talk about love compatibility. If that's something you're interested in, smash subscribe just so we can stay connected. Thank you. Let's start talking about how can very emotional Pisces, very intellectual Aquarius come together in this way. There's two main ways, two main characteristics that bind a Pisces and an Aquarius together. And the first way is they're both very unconventional, just in different ways. Pisces is very emotionally and practically unconventional because Pisces can love anyone and everyone, no matter how objectively good or bad you are. Pisces will be the one to love you, no matter if society thinks you're despicable. Pisces just has that super empathetic nature that doesn't end, and they can really love undesirable and unlovable people. So that is how they're a little bit emotionally quirky, is that compassionate heart of theirs. And also, they're sitting opposite of Virgo. Virgo is so down to earth and about practical life, and Pisces can feel very divorced of practical everyday life and not really connect with it and not really rise up to the challenge of practical everyday life all the time, making them very artistic, like daydreamer type of people that kind of need help in that Virgo way to live out the sixth house so they can actually bring their dreams to reality. So yeah, they're very emotionally quirky and very practically offbeat a little bit. And with Aquarius, you basically open the dictionary and they're the poster child. They're the example next to the word unconventional, because the first thing you learn about Aquarius in terms of astrology, you pick up any astrology book, they're going to be listed as unconventional. That's the first thing you learn, is that they're so unique and that they really are out of the box, inventive, futuristic thinkers. So they can be very understanding in an unconventional way with people intellectually. They can reason with pretty much anyone. How Pisces can love everyone, they can reason with everyone. So they're really coming together on this unconventional plane here. And also Aquarius at times can live their everyday life unconventionally, so even though they're ruled by Saturn, which is very serious, but they're also co-ruled by Uranus, and we'll get into that with my next point. So they can kind of be like Pisces, a little offbeat in everyday practical life. So they're really lining up here, like I said, on being just super unconventional, out of the box people. The second thing, I've kind of alluded to this, is that they're both ruled by two different planets, one traditional planet and one modern planet, per traditional and modern astrology. And this co-rulership kind of gives them a complexity that they can both understand in one another. With Pisces, they're ruled by Jupiter per traditional astrology, Neptune per modern astrology. So Jupiter is really an expansive planet that just magnifies and gives abundance to any energy that it's attached to. And with Pisces people, well, it depends on what Pisces placement you have, but in general, it's just blowing up that empathetic emotional center of theirs, and really putting that at a huge forefront and importance of their life, a really big destination, wanting to see the emotional big picture of someone. That's how they can love really despicable people, because they can see the good in them from that high Jupiter place. And Neptune is what brings the fantasy element that makes them mystical and angelic even, and dissolves the boundaries. So not only do they have this huge amount of love to give blown up by Jupiter, it's like the Neptune just makes it boundless, and they just give it to so many different people. So there is kind of like a push and pull here, even though Jupiter and Neptune have more in common than Aquarius's rulers. And let's get into that. Aquarius is ruled by the very, very strict traditional planet Saturn per traditional astrology. Saturn is very disciplined and honors old traditions, honors rules, and co-ruled modernly by Uranus, which is a very innovative, brilliant planet, but also very destructive in the sense that it rebels against everything that Saturn is about. It rebels against tradition. It wants to break down old things to create new things that better serve people. And also just craves energy. It craves change and innovation, and can get bored living that steady Saturn life. So it's really a paradox that every Aquarian probably has: the drive to be stable and traditional and serious versus wanting to just break out of your everyday life and just do something totally unexpected and Uranus style. Break your own traditions, break your own expectations, break everyone's expectations of you. So very, very push and pull here in an Aquarius. So they both have like a complexity about them also that needs a lot of freedom in order to be understood by someone else. So they can really come together in those two ways. And basically these combined qualities makes them both very, very understanding people, forgiving people. Pisces, because their emotional center is just boundless and can see the bigger picture of someone and can forgive, like has a huge capacity to forgive. And Aquarius, because they are very scientific minded and also just very, very great friends. Like they're just the friendship sign. So they really do want to be intellectually fair and higher minded with people, so they can forgive for that. They can forgive others through that perspective, and because they just think everyone's a human being and everyone has the same tendencies to fail and succeed, so they can really be forgiving in that way. So how can these two collide? Well, I think from my observations and studies, most of the time it's going to be the Aquarius who notices the Pisces first. And this is because Aquarians are collectors of special objects, of unique objects, and objects or people even. They like to collect unique things, and that just adds to their unique identity. If they have a bunch of different type of unique people around them, it almost like it increases the value of their ego or any energy that the Aquarius is attached to. So if you're an Aquarius moon, it would just increase your emotional happiness and stability. So they see the Pisces, and Pisces does appear different and special because it has that Neptune magic cloaking it, and Pisces people can look very angelic and dreamy. So, and they're just kind people. So Aquarius is noticing this, and they're observers, you guys, and they're fixed. So never forget that an Aquarius is fixed, because this is oftentimes overlooked because of their Uranian qualities, but they are indeed fixed. So they like other fixed signs, like to observe people before they feel good about approaching them, even though they can be just like Uranus and just dive in there. A lot of the times though, they prefer to observe, and they're going to observe that Pisces is very kind and that Pisces is a good listener. They're an air sign, so this matters. And that Pisces seems to be able to fit in with a bunch of different types of people. They're going to be attracted to that with the Pisces. Likewise, Pisces probably does notice Aquarius because Aquarius is very unique and stands out from a crowd, and probably is drawn in by Aquarius just being so kind with others. They're the best friends. Aquarius is a friendship sign. I will keep on saying it. They see Aquarius as special, and that they are just like the life of the party with their friends, that they really have a unique light about them, and they just are drawn to that kindness, that certain type of Aquarius kindness. And just Aquarius being so unique, if an Aquarius likes you, it just makes you feel so special, like the chosen one. So Pisces can kind of sense this and is drawn in by the kindness. So, you know, Aquarius might not be the first one to approach Pisces, but, you know, eventually, let's just say they'll collide somehow. Aquarius sometimes will leave, and a Pisces will leave things up to chance in this way, and they're like, well, I like this person, but I don't want to aggressively go after it, so if it's meant to happen, it will happen. So let's just say they collide, and it's meant to happen from both of their ends. They're going to be very drawn to one another because, like I told you, the unconventional parts of themselves that make them very understanding with one another, and that complexity with the two ruling planets over them. And they're ultimately going to like that both will give each other freedom. Pisces is very, very kind and understanding, and if it feels loved, it can feel safe with Aquarius just floating away sometimes in that Uranus fashion, because Aquarius does have those bursts of Uranus energy, like where they could just break their traditions and Saturn routines in life and just float away sometimes without notice. And you know, that can hurt Pisces, but they can also just understand. If they love the Aquarius, they're going to give them that understanding, just because Pisces are very empathetic people and they can see the big picture of Aquarius, that Aquarius is just very kind and special. So they'll be okay with Aquarius needing that freedom. And Pisces will need freedom too, because it does swim away sometimes, because a Pisces can get so emotionally overwhelmed with feeling everyone's emotions. It's like Pisces people don't have a choice. They just take in, they're an emotional vacuum, and they're taking in everyone's emotions, and that can just feel so overwhelming because you get confused about your own emotions, and you just have to float away to recharge. And oftentimes, because we're not very good communicators, unless you have other stuff in your chart, we don't tell people when we're going away, and that can throw people off. But Aquarius is very kind and intellectually understanding in this way, and can say, well, I've observed this Pisces, because they are the scientists and very fixed, and I know that they always come back. So because they always come back and they give me freedom, I'm going to give them the freedom and space to be away when they need to. So it's really a bond built on that respect for each other's freedom. And what's funny about Aquarius is that Aquarius is very freedom needing and loving, but they're only good and okay with giving Pisces this freedom because they've observed the Pisces. They know that they get that mutual respect in turn, and that Pisces always comes back. So because the pattern is there, they're cool with it. So don't think that Aquarius would just be cool without any observation, because they are observers. So I want to make that clear. So yeah, mutual respect for each other's freedom. And they're unconventional, like I said. So a lot of times, like, they can have very out-of-the-box ideas about love. There's another side to Pisces, and this is thanks to Neptune, that, you know, has no boundaries. So sometimes a Pisces can be in love with one person, but can have a pull to just love so many people, because that's just such a huge part of a Pisces, is you have all these emotions and you want to give it to everyone. You know, it's hard to be discriminate and biased as a Pisces, unless you have other stuff going on in your chart. So it can make you pulled towards unconventional relationships. And likewise, Aquarius doesn't like to be restrained in any way, because it wants freedom to make all the intellectual decisions for their life, regardless of rules and convention. So they can be involved in, you know, out-of-the-box relationships that aren't super Saturn and traditional accepted by society, such as polyamory, swinging, just all those type of things. Use your imagination. A Pisces and Aquarius can engage in that together and not feel bad, not feel unloved, if they're, you know, on the same page. So yeah, they have this respect for each other's freedom. They are both unconventional, and yeah, they are just bonding on that way, and they both feel special in each other's presence. Aquarius feels special to have found the very unique and ethereal Pisces, and Pisces likewise is feeling very special to be accepted by the social butterfly Aquarius. Or even if you're not a social butterfly, just the very beautiful mind of Aquarius being accepted by that can feel pretty nice. And they basically can become best friends in this way. They're bound together through those really unique understandings of one another. So they both can find just an immense amount of love through their friendship together, through their romantic friendship. Through Pisces, through being so connected to Aquarius, can feel like a spark in their lives through that Uranus energy that Aquarius brings, that excitement to maybe live out their practical life, you know, have a little bit of support in that way, and feel invigorated by Aquarius. And likewise, Aquarius can feel just very, very safe and accepted with the Pisces, because Aquarius values that Pisces will listen to whatever they have to say, no matter how strange or odd it is, and they won't run away from that. Because they're a fixed sign, they value that communicative, that listening stability that Pisces can give to them. So yeah, they can be just super bonded in this way. Where could it go wrong? Well, it could go wrong because Pisces is extremely emotional, and that same heart that can give Aquarius that understanding for freedom is also the same heart that can be very hurt by when Aquarius just disappears sometimes without notice, because they do have those Uranian bursts of energy that takes them away. And they also just need to recharge mentally, because they're always thinking about things. They're always curating their identity to be more unique, and their mind to be super unique people, and they need time alone to keep feeling different and unique. And Pisces can be really hurt by this, and when they feel like Aquarius is detaching emotionally and the Aquarius isn't there to help them through the emotions, they could swim away, and they can swim away into the arms of someone else, basically. Pisces can be a faithful sign, but oftentimes, because of Neptune dissolving those boundaries, Jupiter being so prominent in a Pisces and blowing up that emotional need and need for connection with someone else, they can swim away into someone else's arms that is willing to fulfill that for them. And oftentimes a Pisces, especially with an Aquarius, can do this thinking that it's going to be cool with the Aquarius. But Aquarius will often surprise you, which is no surprise because they're Uranus ruled, but they have that Saturn and that fixed element about them. And Aquarius does give people freedom, but they give people freedom with the hope and trust that people won't run all over their heart, because they do have hearts. So if they did not discuss this specific entanglement with the Pisces and say it's okay for Pisces to do this, they can get really hurt if they figure out that Pisces is in the arms of another, despite their unconventional side. They can just feel not cool with that, and they can often not trust Pisces after something like this. And also, Aquarius could just feel not mentally stimulated by the Pisces, because Pisces is rich in emotions unless they have air in their chart and can meet Aquarius on that mental level, so, which would be great. But yeah, Aquarius could feel not very inspired and stimulated by the Pisces in that intellectual way, because they do need an intellectual connection with someone else. And likewise, Pisces can feel just like not emotionally satisfied with Aquarius, like they're feeling like Aquarius has a beautiful mind, but what about the heart? Where are your gifts of the heart? And of course this can be different if the Aquarius has water in their chart, which would be great for the Pisces. So yeah, not meeting each other's needs intellectually and emotionally can be where they miss the mark. And the trust element, which is very big for Aquarius. Aquarius needs to trust people. Pisces can fall short on that sometimes if they don't feel that emotional connection and love with someone. But the good news is, what drew them together in the first place can help them get over these bumps in the road, that they're just super, super forgiving and understanding people. So if they're in love, if they're very much in love, they can use that forgiveness and understanding from their different points of view to just continually forgive and try to understand each other. Pisces, with that emotional center, continually forgiving and understanding Aquarius when they can't meet them in that emotional way, when they can't satisfy them emotionally, and when they have to just go away. Aquarius really extending that understanding from their beautiful minds to Pisces, when Pisces tramples all over their boundaries sometimes because they don't feel loved and they feel hurt by the Aquarius's need for freedom and spontaneous freedom. So they can both just continually forgive and understand each other if there's enough love here. So yeah, a very beautiful connection can be made. They can feel like just best friends that really get each other and that support each other's dreams and fantasies, because they both do have like a detached view from practical life, even though Aquarius is much more rooted in it because it has that Saturn connection. They both can kind of like help bring their fantasies to life when things are going good, and just be very good, best forgiving friends that just love each other without boundaries and give each other so much freedom. So yeah, you guys, I hope you love the video. If you're in a Pisces Aquarius relationship, let me know how it's going. Share with me in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.